back, everybody, to A&M Reviews. It's Muhammad and Adrian, and today we're here to review the film The Batman. Essentially, this film is about Batman ventures into Gotham City's underworld when a sadistic killer leaves behind a trail of cryptic clues. As the evidence begins to lead closer to home and the scale of the perpetrator's plans become clear, he must forge new relationships, unmask the culprit, and bring justice to the abuse of power and corruption that has long plagued the metropolis. So, what did you get from The Batman?
I don't like emo Batman. Off there. Where was Bruce Wayne? Like, I'm not a huge
He doesn't
fan
exist.
of that. No, Bruce Wayne wasn't in this movie. Where is the charismatic rich guy? Where is the alter ego? This man was just depressed 100% of the time. And sometimes he wore a mask, sometimes he didn't. So that was my not biggest issue. It was my first issue was, where is the other persona? Where is the other side of Batman? Where is the millionaire, philanthropist that is Bruce Wayne? I feel like, that's his DC's whole thing has been alter egos, goofy or not, spinning in a telephone booth with Wonder Woman, Clark Kent in his glasses, Batman in his mask, and he's a very different person when he's on the mask. In this film, there was no Bruce Wayne, which was weird. That was probably one of the stranger things for me, but yeah, it had a very, very depressive tone that I don't care to see more of. I think make a Catwoman movie for Zoe. I watched that, but yeah, I've been tired of Batman for a while, and this did not change that opinion.
Well, honestly, really honestly, I did enjoy this movie.
Of course. Of course you did.
Of course. Why do you think that?
No, because the Batman that I like is so different than this Batman. Christian Bale's Batman is the best version of Batman we've seen on screen. He was an effective Bruce Wayne. He was an effective Batman. The movie had Morgan Freeman in it, okay? This wasn't it.
Well, the team is not all put together. He's only 2 years into his career as Batman, and he's still trying to figure it out. But
which is why there should be more Bruce Wayne. Like, he's more at this point, he's not that great at being Batman yet, which is understandable. What I don't know is just how he got here. I understand we're skipping the origin story, which I'm happy about. We didn't spend time on that. This movie was still somehow almost 3 hours, but yeah, it just very depressive, very. I get it. He's amateur Batman, but he was real amateur at some points. Some points really just didn't make any sense as far as like, why are you being so stupid? Like the new mayor they elected, she has some really dumb moments. Yeah, I will say, I think Catwoman was interesting. Interesting take on her. The Penguin, interesting. The Riddler, I think was a compelling main villain. I thought he did a pretty good job. I wasn't too impressed with this Alfred. I mean,
he was barely there.
He was barely in it. I guess, he should be barely in it, but I would like to see more of him, more of his banner with Bruce. But it's different. It's definitely different than all the other Batmans, which is good.
Yeah. Really, I don't think this will be anybody's favorite Batman, but I think people will enjoy the interpretation of this Batman because you get a little different one. He's still very dark. He's in the shadows. He's fighting crime and everything, all the basics, but they do show mostly a better detective, or at least you see him being a detective more.
Yes.
That's one of his greatest powers, if you can call that a power.
At all. There were several times he should have been shot in the jaw several times.
He should have died, really. He took a bomb to the face. No scratches.
No scratches.
That kind of took me out of it, but I still enjoyed it.
Man, thank you, Superman. And also, it reminds me just how low level Batman is. Because I mean, he's getting thrown around. Now he, has some fake survival skills, surviving bombs and electrocution and whatnot. But I was just thinking, like, Superman shows up. This Batman, I think this is probably the most real interpretation of Batman. Like, I think this version of Batman could exist in the real world. He'd definitely be arrested.
He should have been arrested in this movie.
Several times he broke the law, and they just let it go.
They could have already known who he was.
Unmasked him at any point. Any point, one of those police officers took his mask, could step in his cape, punch him in the gut with a 1-2 punch, and took that mask off.
Thanks for watching. And if you would like to be featured on our podcast, make sure to click the link in the description.